I'm Brian Robert Oliver, and this is the Infinite Eleven's Anatomy of Horror. Tonight, we'll be talking about one of the most iconic, if not the most iconic horror films ever made, The Exorcist, written by William Blatty and directed by William Friedkin. It's coming up next. A famous actress named Chris and her preteen daughter Regan live a charmed life until Regan starts speaking with Captain Howdy through a Ouija board. Of course, Captain Howdy isn't as nice as the name implies, and soon Regan's body is taken over by a dark spirit claiming to be Satan himself. With no one else to turn to, Chris summons the help of a local Jesuit priest named Father Damien Karras. Father Karras is mourning the loss of his beloved mother and battling a severe loss of faith in the very institution he's dedicated his life to. He, along with Father Merrin, the exorcist, battle an ancient demon to spare the young life of Regan. So look, everything I'm about to say here has already been said before. It's been written before, and most likely far, far better. And that's because this film is considered top 3 best horror films of all time. It's iconic and it's genre defining. It set a benchmark for everything that came after it. And if you're looking for really in-depth analysis, then I suggest checking out Rob Egger over at Collative Learning or Ryan Hollinger. Both have excellent analysis channels, and I put a link to both in the description. My analysis is more about the filmmaking aspect. So The Exorcist, it's deep. Its themes include loss of faith, motherhood, an absentee father, or fear of the matriarchy. Its implicit meanings or interpretations say a lot about American culture that still ring true to this day. For one, we are still a Christian nation and culture, and that is the true explicit and implicit focus of The Exorcist. The film, in one sense, works as an allegory on both teen rebellion as well as the dangers of matriarchy. But I wanted to talk about Father Karras and the theme of crisis of faith. While the main narrative is about the possession of Regan, there is this other narrative off to the side that is carefully sculpting a character who can fight this demon. What's really interesting is how Friedkin visualizes the struggles of Father Karras. We know he is struggling with his faith, and we know he is racked with guilt over the loss of his mother. One really important motif that applies only to Father Karras is stairs. In the first act, we have a sequence where we can see him twice climbing steps, like right here, and then right here. The lighting on Father Karras' hair in the first shot, it's meant to make it look like it's a halo. It's angelic. Now here's the second shot. He's stepping from the darkness into the light, and unlike the first shot, we can see Karras' face here. To me, it appears that he is laboring up the steps. And with the lighting, we are being told that Father Karras is coming from a dark place to serve God. And we find out in the next sequence is that he is visiting his elderly mother. So with every bit of visual information regarding this sequence, we are being told that Father Karras' care for his mother is what keeps him close to God. Of course, we later find out that Father Karras claims he thinks he's losing his faith. Therefore, his godly path has become laborious. So the mere fact that he has to climb from the abyss to perform his duty to God means he is constantly in flux. Another film to do this also brilliantly is Todd Phillips' Joker. But I digress. So when, spoiler alert, Father Karras' mother dies, he now has guilt to go along with his crisis of faith. This not only makes him a great adversary to Pazuzu, the demon inhabiting Regan, but it also makes him vulnerable to the demon's power. So there's a powerful dream sequence a little before the midway point of the film that Friedkin makes great use of, and because it's a dream, he is able to really piece together so much symbolism and meaning for Karras' character. It almost resembles something closer to avant-garde cinema. Okay, so right away, we see St. Joseph's medallion, and that harkens us back to the opening sequence in Iraq with Father Merrin. Now, there's no shortage of theories revolving around this very shot, and a lot of them have to do with Father Karras' upcoming battle with Pazuzu. But I'm not going to talk about that. Let's talk film language. First, what are we seeing? We are seeing a medallion of St. Joseph. St. Joseph plays an important role in Catholicism. He is the earthly stepfather to Jesus and husband to Mary. Joseph had to have faith that his wife, a virgin, was impregnated by God, and he would have to give his life to servitude and faith, or else the entire story, it just doesn't really work. We see the medallion is falling. So if St. Joseph represents faith, and it is in the act of falling, then we are being told that Father Karras has lost his faith in the church. And now this. A black dog traditionally means evil. Think of the hounds of hell. But it can also mean mourning, like how Father Karras is mourning the death of his mother. Both make sense, but notice how the dog is aggressive. It's threatening, which leads us to his mother. And that's followed by the swinging pendulum of a clock. Now, clocks are another motif used in this film, and this particular shot can be used in tandem with an earlier scene when Father Merrin notices the clock on the wall has stopped, possibly signifying his own heart's demise, a popular theory. But here, the pendulum still swings, possibly meaning that his mother's fate is somehow connected to his loss of faith, like she is somehow being judged for that. But what is his mother's fate? So here we go again with the stairs, and to answer the question of his mother's fate, we see her ascending from below. Usually ascension can be a good thing, symbolically, like Father Karras' ascension, meaning holy servitude, but I'm not sure that's what's happening right here. First, New York City subways were hellish in the 1970s, and we see that she is coming out of a Brooklyn subway line. Brooklyn, in that time period, was known as an extremely dangerous neighborhood. And notice how everything outside the subway entrance is bathed in bright light, but the subway steps are dark and dirty. I think we are being told that she is stepping out of hell. Now we see Father Karras literally at a crossroads. This, of course, alludes to the fact that he was torn about his place in the church and wanted to be closer to his mother, all before she died. Thus, before his mother's death, he was at a crossroads. Now his mother stands at the top step of hell pleading with him. You can kind of read her lips. It looks like she says Demi over and over. Now Demi was his mother's name for him, a term of endearment and abbreviation of his first name, Damien. The last time he saw his mother, she was institutionalized. She called out his name and wanted to know why he let her end up in such a place. She was distraught and the guilt was too much to bear for Father Karras. There's Pazuzu. We see this again at other points of the film, and to be honest, the way it flashes, I often wonder if this is a part of the dream, or this is just William Friedkin letting us know that Karras will soon be going head-to-head with the demon. It's a pattern he uses again, and it's cut just like this, so I'd like to think that this is just a foreshadowing on Friedkin's part and not really in the dream. Now we see Father Karras has made his move, but it's too late. His mother descends back into hell, and there is nothing he can do about it. And that is the essence of the character of Father Karras. It's a classic, guys, and if for some reason you have not seen it, then do yourself a favor and watch it. If you have seen it, then watch it again. The Exorcist stars Ellen Burstyn, Jason Miller, Linda Blair, and Max von Sydow. Until next time.